The wind howls across the Sahara, carrying with it the whispers of 10,000 years. Deep in southeastern Algeria, there's a cathedral of human memory, painted not in gold, but in ochre hues and charcoal. Here, on the walls of Tassili Nazir, over 15,000 images stare back at us from the darkness, a chronicle of life when this desert was green. But these are not just paintings. They are prayers. They are histories. They are the sacred testimony of the longest human story ever told. Africa holds a secret no other continent can claim. It is the birthplace, the beginning 6 million years ago. Somewhere on this vast land, the first hominid stood upright on the savannah, and in that moment, everything changed. From Australopithecus to Homo sapiens, every chapter of our evolution unfolded here, beneath the African sun. The bones tell us when they lived, the stones tell us what they built, but the art tells us who they were. Picture this. 12,000 years ago, the Sahara was a grassland paradise, teeming with elephants, giraffes, and rhinos. Ancient lakes shimmered under the sun, and our ancestors lived in this Eden, hunting, gathering, and creating art that would outlast empire. They carved and painted on rock faces, leaving behind a visual scripture of what they saw, what they believed, and what they feared. The earliest art shows enormous wild animals, dwarfing the human figures beside them. But look closer. We see beings that are half human, half animal. Giraffes with mysterious lines flowing from their mouths, like rivers of spirit. Some researchers believe these images represent shamanic visions journeys into the spirit world. In traditional African belief, there has never been a wall between the physical and spiritual realms. The ancestors walk among the living. The spirits inhabit all of nature. Around 7,000 years ago, the art shifts. Cattle appear, not wild, but domesticated. This was the pastoral period. We see herders, families, and ceremonies painted with incredible detail. But there's something haunting here too. On a hockey fassi, there's an engraving known as the crying cows. Tears roll down their faces, frozen in stone. Tuareg legend says, these are the tears of herders, watching helplessly as the climate changed, as the grasslands withered, as the desert advanced like a slow apocalypse. This isn't just a myth. It's climatology preserved in art. Around 5,000 years ago, the Sahara began its final transformation. The people who lived there were forced to migrate. Some moved south, others headed toward the Nile Valley. And some scientists believe these refugees may have helped spark the rise of ancient Egypt. They couldn't take their art with them, so they left it as a testament, a message carved in stone that would outlast their entire civilization. But this story is about more than survival. It's about preserving memory, meaning, and a sacred connection to the cosmos. In the traditional African spirituality rooted in this prehistoric era, religion isn't separate from life. It is life. The human figures in the art are often small, part of nature, not above it. This isn't primitive. It's sophisticated theology, and this spiritual tradition is incredibly resilient. The drums, dances, and masks you see in 8,000-year-old paintings are still used in African ceremonies today. Think about it. When Rome was founded, the crying cows were already ancient beyond measure. When Islam and Christianity arrived in Africa, they didn't erase the old ways. Instead, African spirituality, with its profound flexibility, incorporated elements of these new faiths. An amulet might hold a verse from the Quran alongside a traditional symbol. There's no conflict. This adaptability is why these beliefs survived colonialism and centuries of persecution. The ancestors could not be silenced. Today, Millions of people across Africa practice these traditions. In Benin, devotees become vessels for the spirits. In Nigeria, the Yoruba use divination systems that stretch back thousands of years. Archaeological sites confirm this deep history. In Sudan, we've found the oldest open-air huts in the world, 50,000 years old. In Kenya, tools and skulls of Homo erectus, our ancestor who first harnessed fire. In Morocco, the oldest known remains of our species, Homo sapiens, 300,000 years old. These discoveries prove that ancient Africans weren't just surviving, they were innovating. West Africa developed iron smelting thousands of years ago, independently. For these cultures, ironworking wasn't just a technology, it was a sacred, magical art. This holistic worldview is thousands of years old. For ancient Africans, sickness wasn't just physical, it was an imbalance with family, community, and the spirit world. Healing required ritual and the restoration of harmony. The ancestors play a central role. They aren't gone. They exist in the spirit realm, offering guidance and protection. This belief that community extends beyond the living is carved into the rocks of the Sahara, where countless images show figures engaged in rituals, calling upon these very forces. But there is tragedy here. The rock art is disappearing. Wind, sand, and human vandalism are destroying these irreplaceable windows into our shared past. Organizations are racing to document everything they can, but with each painting that fades, we lose a voice from thousands of years ago. A someone who looked at the same stars and wondered about the same mysteries we do today. So why does this matter now? Because Africa is not just the cradle of humanity. It is the cradle of human consciousness, spirituality, and creativity. The first person to mix pigment and apply it to stone to create meaning that would outlast them, that person was African. The first cultures to survive catastrophic climate change by adapting their entire way of life, they were African. This is not ancient history. Traditional African religions continue to influence the world. Enslaved Africans carried their beliefs across the ocean, creating traditions like Haitian voodoo and Cuban sin. The rhythms of Africa pulls through jazz, blues, and hip-hop, and people are returning to these ancestral traditions, recognizing their depth and wisdom. Oral traditions also preserve this history. The griots of West Africa are living libraries, memorizing genealogies and historical events passed down for generations. They are the human equivalent of the rock art vessels of memory. But the haunting question remains: how much have we lost? How much knowledge disappeared when the Sahara dried up? When colonialism suppressed these beliefs? When the slave trade ripped millions from their homes? And yet, the fact that anything survived at all is a miracle. It is a testament to the resilience of these traditions. As we face our own climate crisis, perhaps we should look back to the crying cows. Those herders watched their world die. They couldn't stop it, but they chose how to respond. They adapted. They survived. And before they left, they carved their story into stone so that we would know they were here. They are speaking to us across millennia, and their message is clear. Civilizations rise and fall. Climates change. But the human capacity for creativity, for spirituality, for connection that endures. The prehistory of Africa is not just African history. It is our history. Every person alive today carries the DNA of those first Homo sapiens from this continent. We all descend from people who walked the green Sahara, who painted on cave walls, and who asked the eternal questions. Where do we come from? Why are we here? As the sun sets over Tassili Najir, the shadows lengthen. The ancient artists who created these images are gone. Their languages are forgotten, but their hands reached across time to touch ours. They made beauty that outlasted their civilization. And we, their descendants, stand before their art and feel something stir in us, gratitude for what survived. The wind continues to blow, eroding the images grain by grain. One day, they will be gone, but for now, they remain a testament to human resilience, to African creativity, and to the longest story ever told, the story of us. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into our shared past meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that connect us all.